And now's the portion of Let's Boop Snoots where we imitate car alarms. Woo, 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 whoop, 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 Welcome to Let's Boop Snoots.
Welcome.
I'm Heidi.
I'm Vero.
And this week, we are going to boop snoots yet again.
Yet again. We're going to talk about something icky.
Oh, you're going to talk about something icky? And then I'm going to talk about, my dog just literally burst into the room. He just shot through the door. Hello, Gibbs.
Super
Gibbs
dog.
is joining us today as well. Yep, he's coming up for a snuggle. All right, buddy. Sorry about that. Sorry about
I want to boop too.
Gibbons' rude interruption to the podcast. I'm going to talk about sound of different kinds and dogs. Reactions, sounds that dogs make. So we're just going to boop snoots about it.
Yes.
Should we start with your gross icky?
Sure. Okay. So today I was petting Ralph. He was on his back. And I noticed he looked like he had some pus coming out of his, privates.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was like, does he have an infection? So he has, a bit of, long hair there. So we gave him a little bit of a Sanny trim. Little trim. Little dogscaping.
A little manscaping for Ralph.
For Ralphie. And I noticed it again, but then I kind of remember Wiggum having that once in a while. So I Googled it. Mm-hmm. First I smelled it because I was like, what is that? I put my nose right in there.
Yeah.
And it didn't smell like anything.
Was he like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's humans don't do this.
He's like, I'm cold down there now. He's missing some fur. So I Googled it and dog smegma came up.
Oh, gross. That is gross.
Yeah.
That is
Has
icky.
Gibbon ever had
Not that I've noticed.
Some icky?
I have not
so
smelled
it's some
his privates either. But
I was like, I gotta smell it. I gotta know.
That's hilarious.
Because I could tell you everything, right?
It could. Well, some things you can smell, especially with some of the skin stuff that they get sometimes, right? Like you said, Wiggum used to get smelly.
Yeah.
With skin irritations and stuff like that.
And their ears, you can smell when they're infected.
Yes. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. So, what did you find on the Jujul?
So I Jujuled it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, dog smegma came up. So you know how your dog's penis is covered in skin. Mm-hmm. And then some of the like dead skin, oils, and moisture just kind of accumulate, and it creates a yellowish, greenish substance that looks like pus.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Did they say to do anything for it?
It's just some smegma.
Yeah.
And nothing else. So no, it's apparently
just like normal, and it just sorts itself out.
Yeah. I mean, it could be now that I'm reading it. Could be a sign of something more serious. Look out for foul smelling discharge, swelling of the sheath, excessive licking or dripping. Any of these symptoms can indicate the following. So a urinary tract infection, or inflammation of the bladder, bacterial infection, tumors, trauma or stones in the urethra, allergies that are affecting the skin, reproductive health issues, inflamed penis, external injuries, infection or inflammation of the prostate, or prostate disorders. So to treat it, they say there's no treatment. Smegma often needs no treatment. But if you're worried about something, like if it does smell or, there's redness or whatever, they say you can take your dog to the vet. And then it goes over everything that your vet will and might do. So check your dog's genitals, blood tests, discharge, specimen sample, x-rays,
Oh my goodness.
an ultrasound. So you can kind of just clean it off.
Have you ever been asked to, or have you ever brought in a urine sample for your vet for your dogs? Because like stool samples are easy to get because you just wait for them to poop. But pee,
I did for Wiggum, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, like at the end when he was like
oh yeah.
peeing, and
So was it just when he had an
it was
accident?
easy. Yeah, so Wiggum, like a few days before I had to put him down, I came back from work and his usual, like, not greeting me at the door, just kind of like looking at me, not super excited.
Yeah.
And I walked over to him and I noticed that the floor was sticky and
Oh
wet.
yes.
And there was urine everywhere.
Oh my God.
Like everywhere.
Poor guy.
So I brought him to the vet. We got a urine sample, brought that to the vet.
But so how did you get the urine sample? Did you literally just pick it up off the floor, or did you try
No,
to?
peed in it. Peed in the little thing.
He peed
So
in a
when he went
cup?
to pee, he peed in a cup. So
Seriously?
it was when I was at the vet, actually. They gave me a
Okay.
cup and I brought him out to pee and I just did the best I could.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you wouldn't need like a super ton, right? Like it's like if you can get a little bit of a spritz in there, it's probably enough.
Yeah.
Like enough to like
An
pool.
Aperol Spritz. A urinal spritz, please.
A urinal spritz, please. We should make an apparatus for dog urine sampling called the spritz cup. That you tape around them like on a belt. So like when they go to pee, it just goes right into the cup. They wouldn't tolerate it. They wouldn't tolerate it. They would be trying to get it off and not concentrating on spritzing in the cup. The spritz
Speaking
cup.
of spritzing in a cup, you know what Ralph does?
What?
He pees on his front legs.
Oh, hey, it's better than peeing on other dogs, which Gibbon took to for a while there.
He doesn't do it all the time, but sometimes he pees and he just looks like he's standing.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing? And then he like lifts his leg like a little bit, just a little bit.
See, Gibbon, he just
pees like that, and I'm like, you're peeing on your leg.
Does he like, did he always lift his leg, or did he start like pretty soon
Ralph?
to pee? Yeah, to pee.
Yeah, he's been doing that for the last little bit.
Like, so he just started,
but he doesn't always do it.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, but he doesn't lift his leg to pee on things. He could be in the middle of the yard. Okay. And that's just how he pees. He just like lifts his leg a little bit. Beep.
See, it took Gibbon like I want to say like past his first year of life before, and maybe even longer before he started leg lifting. He peed like a girl. Like he did the squats.
Wiggum always peed like a girl.
Yeah.
He never lifted his leg. I don't think he knew how.
So Gibbon, like he only started, but even now it's like you don't know how he's going to pee. So sometimes he stands there and literally just like leans forward. Like he'll stand but lean slightly forward, and so he does that, or he does a squat, or he does a leg lift. It's like however the wind's blowing that day. It's just it's you never know how you're gonna spritz. Which way is the spritz blowing?
Well, if hilarious. You spritz on your leg, it's not good.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna wait it out, see, because it could just be dog smegma.
Yeah.
And then now that you know more about smegma, just keep an eye on it.
Yep. It'll most likely sort itself out If you smell something a little
Yeah.
schnast, a little schnasty, maybe have it investigated. Maybe take them for,
Yeah, but
see if
it
you can
seems
get a
fine. And
spritz
he's
cup.
not like he's licking at it or anything.
Oh, okay.
He's not licking at it, so it
Oh,
doesn't
well,
seem to
that's
bother
good.
him. So it's probably just, well, he got a Sani trim out of it, which is probably something we needed to do anyways.
A Sani trim. I love it. I love it. I love it.
We brought Ralph to my parents on the weekend,
Oh, yes?
which was interesting.
What did he think?
So we first went into the house while he was still on the leash, and he was just like spinning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they had blocked off the back of the house. So
Mm-hmm.
my mom has like this craft room and there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I could just imagine Ralph in there. So they had blocked it off with like a panel of wood, but it wasn't super high. So when Ralph went into the house the first time, he just like he ran right into the panel.
Oh, my God.
But then he never went over it. He just like ran right into it. I was like, wow, Ralph.
Wow, Ralph.
But
wow.
yeah, he's a counter surfer and a table surfer.
That little punk. He's just a surfer all around.
Yeah,
You got to keep your eyes on those surfers.
we do. Not too sure what to do about that.
All right. Well, shall we get into a little doggy and sound stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just curious about like just dogs and sound and like different ways of looking at that and stuff. So we found a couple of different things online. The first one is noises that commonly scare dogs. And I think we all know what most of those are. Some of them I would have guessed. Most of them we've talked about already on the show before at one point or another. But anyways, the first one, I'm sure y'all can guess, is thunderstorms. And I bet that's thunder. Feel the thunder. And I think that that's fairly common because there's like the thunder coats and stuff like that you can get for them, right? It's like an anxiety jacket. And again, while I'm
Yeah.
while we're talking about this list of noises that scare them, again, when a dog is scared, your most common reaction is to go, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay," and pet them. And what you're doing is you're rewarding the behavior without even realizing it. So, for if your dog's ever reacting to a loud sound, just don't even do one of two things. Don't acknowledge it, or like don't, because they're gonna also like be looking to you for leadership. So just don't acknowledge it. Or if they continue reacting, whining, clawing at you, trying to jump on you, you correct it. No, and do whatever your is. Whether it's a psht of the air thing or whatever, you want to correct the behavior. Another scary sound. But it talks about like it's like the loud booms and everything. It changes the barometric pressure as well. They can smell like the rain that's coming, and sometimes all of that together just is what frightens the poor little doggos. So Scraps used to be afraid of storms for sure. He would come shaking, and of course, at the time not having knowledge, I'd go, "Oh, it's okay, Scrappy," and I'd pet him. But I've heard things as worse as like dogs waking up in the middle of the night, because that's the thing, you never know when a storm's going to come. So if you have howlers or they freak out and they're jumping on top of you in the middle of the night because the storm's coming in or making some noise, you don't want that. So be careful. Next one on the list, fireworks.
Ooh.
Understandable.
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing. It's kind of like thunder and like lightning, you know, like the super like loud and all of a sudden, except with fireworks, there's like, it's the opposite of a thunderstorm. I believe that dogs can feel when a storm's coming. Like, I'm sure like they're sensitive to those like types
My
of.
My parents had a dog that would freak out, and it was
Then
still
it
like
would
nice
rain.
and sunny outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'd have a storm.
Yeah. But fireworks, there's no predicting when a firework's going to go off, right? So
No.
It's understandable how that could be like loud and scary.
Have you watched Doug Days?
No.
Oh,
Maybe.
Doug?
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes.
Fireworks.
Was he afraid of fireworks?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
dog. Um, one thing that you can do is when you know it's going to be predictable, again, set yourself up for success. And like I said, the first Canada Day I had with Gibbon, you know there's going to be fireworks going off like randomly within the neighborhood. If it's 4th of July in the States or whatever, there's usually holidays that have fireworks associated with them. I would just hunker in for the night and just make a point of correcting the behavior. Because if they know that you and sit there and watch a show and don't even react to any of it, and if they're going to bark or growl or shake or whatever, just correct the behavior because they know, oh, I don't need to be scared of this at all. She's not scared. He's
Yeah.
not scared. The
Yeah.
other doggos here aren't scared. I don't need to be scared.
Why am I scared?
Why am I scared? Again, a very similar noise. Gunshots. So they're very loud to human ears, which is why protection is recommended for like the shooting range and stuff like that. For dogs who hear things at an even higher intensity, gunshots obviously are very bothersome. So remember when we talked about the different types of dog training and stuff, and we talked about like hunting training? Part of
Yeah.
that was getting them used to the sounds of the gunshot. Now it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how close the dogs are when you're firing the gun, but I would guess that it's like pretty loud because they would have to be within range of
Yeah.
you if you're doing the training and stuff. But I remember one of the stations was getting them used to the sound of the gun. So I wonder if it is damaging to their ears. Like I wonder if those like of hunting dogs go deaf like earlier, kind of like us. Like I always say I'm deaf at
That's a
work
good
because
question.
I listened to my Walkman too loud as a kid. I can remember my dad being like, "Turn that down. I don't want to listen to your music. Turn that down." So I'm pretty sure I did some permanent damage there in my
Yeah,
teenage years.
could be.
But I wonder if it's the same for dogos. But gunshots, understandable. And again, depending on the breed, because if you have like
That's pretty loud.
the racing dogs, like the greyhounds and stuff, they're going to be super reactive to that, right?
Oh yeah.
I think
If
I
you have
told
like a
this.
retired greyhound.
Yes. I think I told the story once before at the camp that we used to work at. Like one of the people who worked at the camp had a rescue greyhound, and when the sound of the fireworks on Canada Day was like he just kept like lunging to start like a race,
Oh
But
my
anyways,
god.
something to keep in mind. So another sound on the list is buses and trash trucks. So it says that they don't like the sounds of these vehicles because they're loud, but also create a variety of the high pitched noises like beeping and screeching and stuff like that. When it's crushing like all the garbage, or maybe the gears inside the
Yeah.
truck is like, like like making all those. It's the high pitched stuff that sort
Yeah,
of
they
drives
create
them a
some
little
sort
bit.
of like hydraulic kind of like psh,
Yes, that too.
like
So it's almost like the sound
yeah.
of like an air compressor.
Yeah. Ralph is used to that now. He don't care.
But like it's weird because I've never seen my dogs react to the garbage truck or anything. But again, maybe that's just my dog. Maybe that's just my dog.
Yeah.
Another one on there, which I know I would have said like 100% cats are afraid of these, but I've never seen a dog that's afraid of these. Vacuum cleaners.
Ooh.
So yes, vacuum
You've
cleaners.
never seen a dog afraid of a vacuum cleaner?
No, my dogs have never been afraid of the
No?
vacuum cleaner. No, but
Oh.
cats, yes, big time.
Like Wiggum wasn't afraid. He preferred it not be too close to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them. Like
If I'm in a room, he'll leave. Like he would leave.
Mhm.
Or if I got too close, like he would go somewhere else. And Ralph's kind of the same. Like he's not scared of it.
Yeah.
Like he'll follow me, like he's interested,
but
kind of like hesitant.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think my dogs would let me like vacuum them. I don't know if I told you this story once too. My mom used to be like addicted to the shopping channel, and I can remember going over to her house once and she was like, "Oh, look what I bought." And I was like, "What?" And it was this vacuum cleaner attachment so that you could comb your cat and that it would suck up the fur. And I was like, "What have you done?" I'm like, "You just gave your money to these people for like no reason at all." I'm like, "You are never going to get your cat close to the vacuum cleaner." And she's like, "Well," I'm like, "Have you even tried it yet?" And she was like, "No." I'm like, "All right, let's give it a try. Let's fire up the vacuum cleaner and see where the cats go, Mom." And same thing. I tried bringing the cat even close to see if the cat would even enjoy it. And could not get the cat even close to the vacuum cleaner. Like couldn't
Oh
even get
my
her close
God. That's
because
too
it didn't make
funny.
sense. But I
I
wonder
guess
if
you
it
don't really think of that.
no, like a bit yeah, she got tricked by shopping channel business for sure. But anyways, but my maybe it's just the luck of the draw, but not one of my dogs have ever reacted strongly to the vacuum cleaner. But at the same time, like I haven't come at them with
Maybe I
it.
need to put a vacuum. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably like introduced your dogs to it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I should put like a vacuum cleaner on the table. And then when Ralph jumps on it, maybe like
Start it up.
start the vacuum cleaner.
It might work. It might work.
Just to wait for him.
Yes. That might be the way to go. Give it a try. A cheap way to go too. All right, the next one that I have here is and I only know of one dog that's afraid of these, but it's skateboard wheels on pavement.
Mm.
So, skateboards can frighten dogs not only because they're loud, but because they make erratic noises as they go over the bumps. And like if people are jumping on them or doing tricks with their skateboard, and it either like it sets off their chase instinct, or but it just makes them reactive by the sounds of it. Is what this is saying
Yeah.
here on the interwebs, which makes sense. But
Hmm.
Michelle's dog, Nikita, are totally afraid of skateboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, super reactive to skateboards. So,
Wow.
crying babies is the next one. So, I think it's for the same reason as some of the other ones. It's like high pitched. So it seems like pitch has a lot to do with like a lot of these noises too,
But
right?
I wonder if they know that it's a baby.
Well, that's what I wonder too, because I've never seen a dog react to a crying baby either.
Yeah, but I wonder if it like bothers them because they know it's like
A baby
a
and it's like,
living creature that's
yeah,
like
or part
in
of their pack.
distress.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
part of their pack where they're like, oh, why the baby crying? And the mom is
Yeah.
like, right? Why the baby crying?
It won't stop.
How do we make it stop? Um, and again for the next one that's listed here, construction noises, same thing. It's like
Mm.
tractors beeping, jackhammers going, like all this sort of stuff. Super, like any dogs with noise phobias are going to be reactive to that. Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Um, Another one is car alarms. Again, like there's so many different
Ooh,
car alarms out there, right? There's like the wee wee
it's
wee, and then
annoying.
there's the like whip 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 whip
Beep, beep. Yep.
whip. And now's the portion of Let's Boop Snoots where we imitate car alarms. Woo wee wee whoop 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 whoop. Is this going to become like a new segment where we imitate things? Remember when we were imitating like the gagging of dogs with acid reflux last
Oh
week?
yeah.
Okay.
Then we had like dry throat for
Yes.
the whole day.
Yes. Yes.
I have like sounds. It's not really sounds, but it's stuff that we do. So
Mm-hmm.
stuff that we say to our dogs during certain moments
Mm-hmm.
that they become like they start knowing that okay, when she says this, it means that.
Yeah.
But you don't do it intentionally.
Yes.
So kind of like, do you want to go for a walk?
Yeah.
Then your dog gets like excited. today we were having fun with Ralph because when it's time for food, we go num num, and he gets like super excited.
Yeah.
So we're in the house and we're like num 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 num, like super loud. Like I'm sure the neighbors can hear us. He was excited.
So I got to be careful because Gibbs is like right next to me here. But I saw a TikTok video the other day where the person pretends to be talking on the phone, but they're saying like
Mm.
all of the vocabulary that like your dog's used to. So it's like, hey, grandma, I was thinking like maybe later we could go for a W. I'm just going to say W because he's sleeping right next to me. Like we can go for a W. Maybe afterwards we can pick up like a treat. And like he just keeps saying like all the things that he knows drives his dogs bonkers, and you should see the dog's face while he's
Yeah.
like pretending to talk on the phone. It's like pretty hilarious.
Aw. It's like the guy who had his the retired police dog and was kind of talking out loud and recording it. And he was like just saying what was on his grocery list. I don't know if you remember that one. He's just like, yeah, we're gonna go get some pasta and some bread and some broccoli and some carrots and some cocaine. And then the dog just like looks at him.
That's so cute. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
It's pretty
it.
funny.
I think there's two more noises left on my list of triggers for doggos, and one was jet airplanes, and it's like,
Mm.
well, like how close, like, you know what I mean? Like, are you taking them to the airport? Or like, you know?
Well, have you ever walked your dog and there's an airplane going by and it makes a noise
Yeah, I guess it depends how close.
above you, and I've
Yeah.
seen Ralph like look up and be like, "What is that?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
I've never seen my dogs look at an airplane. I have
Yeah.
not. I have not.
Oh. Ralph's
So,
done it like a couple of times now.
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just like a weird like noise.
I wonder if
Like
it
a
sounds like,
constant like
I wonder if it's the vibration from it too, because sometimes those like loud, like the super deep sort of, they create like
mhm.
vibration, right? Well, that's
Yeah.
all noise and music and sound is
Yeah.
vibration. Um, the last one, and I find like this is can't be that common, is air conditioners or furnaces. So it says the sound of an air conditioner or
No.
furnace turning on can send some dogs jumping. This is likely due to the sudden nature of the sound causing them to startle. Well, it's like maybe it's time for a new air conditioner or furnace.
Weird.
Like if it's like maybe it's time you get a new air conditioner. Weird. Weird, 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 weird.
Hmm. Well, speaking of noises and Ralph jumping on the table, we were gonna try a air horn.
Oh,
We actually
yes.
ordered one.
Did you?
Yeah. You think it's like we ordered one, so it hasn't arrived yet. I think it's arriving on Wednesday. But then we're kind of talking, we're like, you think it's like too loud
I say
for
you
his
give it
little
a try.
ears?
I say you give
Yeah.
it a try.
So we're gonna set him up
Yep.
and we're gonna do it when he thinks we're not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a big jet plane going by my house right now. Gibbs is fast asleep.
I can hear it from not from through the through the computer, but through my window. I can actually.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's how close
So
we
they
work
could
together.
you could probably hear it if you go outside.
Um all right, I got a different list here. Do we have time to go through real quick?
Yeah.
So this is talking about the noises that dogs make and the possible different reasons for them, which again can be interpreted by many, and each dog is an individual and you never know. But anyways, so the sounds that dogs make are barking, whining, growling, howling, sighing, and groaning. So it starts with the bark. So it just talks about how certain dog breeds bark more than others. Some are deep and intimidating, while others have super high pitched yaps. And they bark to indicate joy or fear or anger or awareness, frustration, or need. And the trick to interpreting the bark is the context and the experience. So again, it's like, I think I've talked about this, and I know like sometimes I compare dogs to humans in like in a positive like way, and then sometimes I tell you not to do that very often. But you do learn the sound of your dog's own bark. Like, you know, when they're just
Yeah.
barking, reacting at something, and you know where they're barking at you because they're like, hey, time to feed me. Or whether it's a bark to go
Yep.
outside because they need to pee. Like Becky's pee bark is high
Or
pitched.
it's like urgent.
Yes. Like
Oh yeah.
she goes like, it's like so different. Like when she barks, she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And when she like needs to go outside or is coming back in from outside, it's a,
Mm.
which is weird.
That's funny.
But
Becky.
yes, Becky. And but it says the pitch also indicates emotion, and that a high pitched bark is welcoming, whereas a lower pitched bark indicates a threat. And that makes sense too. So like she's like,
Oh,
I have to pee.
yeah.
Whereas if there's a stranger walking in front of the house, she's like, hey, 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 hey. What are you doing
Hey,
here, stranger? Hey, hey, you. It's my house.
hey, hey.
So the other one, the next one is the whine. So it says the whine is almost as versatile as the bark, but less assertive, and that they typically whine when they want something like a food or a toy or attention. And that a dog that whines at the door, you know, obviously wants to go outside, whereas a dog like whining at their leash clearly wants to go for a W. Sorry, I can't say the word. As I said, Mr. Gibbs is right here next to me. Um, Whining can also show anxiety or fear. So again, all these things you just have to take into context. But and pain obviously is shown through whining as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to like take a look around and be like, what's going on here? Like sometimes, like I think I told you guys this too. Our dogs eat at 5 o'clock every day, and it's at 4:45. So they start coming to wherever you are in the house. They start giving you a little bit of the stare down.
Yep.
But but what Becky does is like, well, I'll be sitting in the living room and she'll be like laying down, but then all of a sudden, like all you hear is this like it's like so faint and like slight. It's more annoying than if she was just like overtly whining in your face. It's like you're just like, no.
Oh, Becky.
Yeah,
That's too funny.
she's funny. She's pretty funny.
See, Wiggum would get. Ralph doesn't. I don't know what Ralph does yet. I think he's
yeah.
just excited until he eats.
Oh yeah.
But Wiggum used to like would get excited and do like the perky ear thing. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you
Like,
move like an inch
yeah.
when it was like dinner time. So if you're
Yeah.
like sitting on a couch and you move like your arm, he'd be like, and then if you did like that would be like his reaction. Like he'd sit up and be like, and then if you didn't move, he'd lie back down. And then if you moved like your foot a little bit, he'd be like, he'd like sit up again.
Oh,
It's like,
they're
are
so
you doing
funny.
it? Are you getting me food? Are you
Oh my
doing
God.
it? Nope, she's not. Okay.
That
How about now? She moved again.
it's just so funny and how quickly they learn. Like they just like learn the nuances of like everything. So for
Yeah.
us, like we have Google Home, and so we'll broadcast like our older son is responsible for dinner time. So we'll say, hey, you got to come, and we have to say F these D's, which means like feed these dogs. Sounds a lot more horrible. It's very innocent, but we can't, like, I don't want to say it out loud. It's so funny but it only took a matter of time for them to know exactly what that means. So now when we
Yeah.
Google broadcast around dinner time and say, hey, you need to come F these D's. It doesn't even matter that we're saying that anymore because he knows, and Gibbon starts getting all excited, and then he runs. So as soon as we broadcast that, he runs to the end of the stairs, and it's like he's like waiting, and his like whole butt's shaking and his whole body's just like quivering. And then as soon as Ronan opens the door to his, like, then he's like, oh my God, it's bow time. Like, and goes like, gets not like super berserk, but he gets like pretty excited. But so even like the sound of like the Google like broadcasting is enough to like set him off.
Yeah.
The next one is the growl. So at first glance, it says the growl seems straightforward. It can mean stay back. It can mean stop touching me, or I will bite you if you come closer. But of course, like when they're playing, it means like, this is so funny. It can also mean, look how very dead I have made this rope. This rope toy. Pull harder. And it's true. Like, so, and I think I've told the story before when I went to visit a friend's place with Gibbs when he was a puppy to play with my friend's Dane. They were like romping, wrestling around with each other, like having the time of their lives. And her son came down and he was completely freaked out. Like he thought they were like 100% fighting, because to him, a growl means like aggressive behavior, you know? When it doesn't, they growl all the time when they're playing together. That's a context in which you have to read all of the body language, which is exactly what this article recommends, is like, you have to listen to the growl, right? So like a super solid growl means like, I don't like that. And like, it's like you're warning to a bite, right? Whereas if they're snarling and they're playing together or whatever, then it's like totally fine. And it also talks about the low rumble, and it's so funny because that can mean that they've heard something somewhere, right? So again, like
yeah
like we'll tell, like Gibbon will be like he'll go to bark like rawr, and we're like, no, like you don't, like trying to get him to not be reactive to something outside, and then he goes rawr. And then we're like, no, and then he's like
yeah.
You're like, dude,
No
means
that.
no.
It's like a very low like growl.
Yeah.
Not like that. It's like a yeah. Just like, oh.
And
he
again,
has a deep voice.
yes. And again, like if they're snarling and doing, we call it the Elvis Presley, but the lifting of the lip, one lip or two lips. I think one lip is like the beginning of like they're not too happy with you. And if you get a two lip raise, I think that's like
warning number 1.
Yeah. It's like we're getting close to Bitesville here. That's hilarious. So the next one on the list is the howl. Ow.
Oh.
Ooh. Wolves howl to communicate with their packs and possibly to express a wider range of emotions than we currently understand. Dogs howl for similar reasons. I wonder why. Because they're wolves. They come from wolves.
Oh my God.
Dogs that howl when their owners leave them behind could be trying to communicate with their people. And howling among dogs seems to be contagious, just like it is for wolves. Many dogs never howl at all, but some breeds, such as Siberian Huskies, however, howl on the regular. And even use their howl to talk and make strange and often amusing noises.
Yeah.
To express joy, curiosity, frustration, and sometimes emotions that seem totally alien to us. So it's funny because Gibbs is not even close, but like when he's like, like barking, we're telling him to stop. Like he'll be like, row, and we're like, no, and he's like, row, 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 row. He'll be like, row, 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 row.
That sounds like Ralph when he yawns in the morning.
Oh yeah?
He does a yawn, and then at the end he's like, it's like, wow.
So cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. The last one on the list here, which is a regular in this household, I can tell you, is the sigh and the groan.
Oh yeah.
So it says that they
Yes.
can sigh and or groan to show contentment and or disappointment. So do you get those from Ralph at all? Like, do you get the exasperation, like when you're telling him to do something? Like when I tell Gibbon to go to place, when he really wants to, like, is curious about something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, a place, he'll lay down and go like, we call it the
I haven't
harumphs.
gotten the sigh yet.
No?
The harumphs. That's good. Not yet. I've had the contentment
Oh yeah?
kind of.
When you give a really
Yeah.
good scratch?
When I like scratch his ears, he's like, I can't actually do it with my nose because of my allergies.
Oh. You're going to spritz the mic?
Snottsville over here. I'm going to spritz the mic.
That's funny. Yeah.
So when he scratches ears.
Oh, big time. When every night when Gibbon curls up to sleep with us, as soon as he does his turnaround and then drop like a sack of potatoes, he goes,
That's cute.
It's a big sigh. But what else does it say?
Big sigh.
So, big sigh. So puppies moan and groan when they're settling down for a nap, and adults might sigh as they relax in your lap or on their dog beds. And what else does it say? It's tempting to compare human sounds and dog sounds, which can be confusing. For instance, dogs typically yawn when they're nervous, not tired, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But also when it comes to the sigh, we seem to be on the same wavelength. So think about the last time you settled onto a particularly comfortable couch. Did you sigh in contentment? Why, yes, I did.
Yes.
And what about the moments when things didn't go your way? Do you let out a sigh or a groan of disappointment or exasperation? Or as I call it, the harumph? Why, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
So, yeah, it just talks about, like, again, the different ways that they communicate. And just so, again, with all these noises and sounds and stuff like that, it's important to be aware of the context of the situation and to be reading the rest of their body language. So, a dog that's growling, but his tail's like wagging like crazy, and he's excited. It's more likely a play growl than it is like,
it's
going to
playful.
bite you. Mm-hmm. And those types of things.
And you get to know your dog.
Oh, big time. Yes. Maybe you'll get to a point like I am with Becky, where you just communicate in sighs and groans. She made a sound the other night. She made a sound at the dinner table, and I swear it sounded like a cow. We were just sitting there eating dinner, and all of a sudden she just went. We were like, I turned to my son and I was like, since when did we get a cow? We just started to laugh. It's crazy.
It's a funny noise.
Yes. Well, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Tune in next week
on Let's Boop
Snoots.
Boop. Boop.